First of all, thank you for being here. What a pleasure to be again in person. It's too sad it's already the last day of South Summit. I have an incredible panel here. I think it went a little bit quick with the introductions. So my first question is, could you tell who you are again, what the program, and what is your program about?
Thank you. Well, yes, I work in the AI Public Tech Lab, and we foster GovTech ecosystems, aiming to bring GovTech startups and scale-ups and small and medium enterprises together with governments to work to solve problems that are facing. And we launched GovTech Lab Madrid last year, and that was the program that I was talking to you about with the community of Madrid. And what we do is we identify challenges of municipalities and scout startups to solve their problems and do pilots with them, and then trying to so that informs like future tendering processes, and public institutions can be closer to entrepreneurship, which we think is what is needed. So we've done 5 pilots last year, and we're doing another 5 this year. So it's going well. We're about to start the second cycle. So yeah, that's what we do.
That's very exciting. We were actually just talking about that backstage as well. Like the public sector has so many opportunities regarding startups. Could you elaborate a bit more on that? Like, what are the opportunities there?
Well, the market is huge. I mean, public purchase, it's I think in Spain is 20% of the GDP. If we can channel like just 1% of that to startups, scale-ups, or small and medium enterprises, that would be a huge impact on the growth and economic development of the country. So we see it's a big market, and also startups right now, they don't see the public sector as an easy client, right? Because of the bureaucracy, of all the barriers of cultural, different languages, different rhythm. So we think it's a huge opportunity, and what we do in this program is we teach municipalities and public workers to work with entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs, we have done 2 bootcamps with startups to teach them on how to work with governments.
I think that's incredible. The bigger the challenge, the bigger the reward, right?
Yeah, well, we are trying.
Carolina, could you tell me a bit more about what your program is about?
Sure. Thank you very much, first of all, for inviting us to be here. The best way to collaborate for startups with Prosegur is to participate in our open innovation program that is called Come In. What is exactly Come In? Come In is the first open innovation program launched by a global security and cash management company. And it consists of, well, we start identifying the right challenge with the business units. What is the right challenge? It's the challenge that can be solved only by an innovative technology that has to be solved in an agile manner, and that is not going to be solved by our own developments because it's not really affecting to the core activities of the company. Once we have those challenges, we publish them in the website of the program, and we start the international scouting of the startups. We are a very international program because in our second edition we were able to reach 35 nationalities on the 5 continents, so it's quite outstanding. Once we have selected those startups, the program closes and we start filtering them, interviewing them, putting in contact with the business units, and selecting the 3 finalists that have innovative solutions that can solve those challenges. These 3 finalists will pitch in front of the CEOs and the directors of the business units, and they will select the winner. And with this winner, we will start a pilot project. This pilot project is oriented to validate that we are really in front of a sweet spot of innovation. So we validate not only the technology and how the technology is integrated with the systems and with the operative of the company, but also that's the feasibility, but also the viability, so the solution is really responding and fitting in a sound business model. And first of all, or even more important, the desirability of the solution. So how this solution is really responding to the needs of the client, how is this user, that can be internal user or external user, but how is it appreciating the solution and evaluating them. So after this pilot, if it succeeds, then we start with a commercial agreement with the startup.
That's amazing. I think that's a great process for the startups in that sector. Could you tell me a bit more what sector that you operate in and what the opportunities are?
Sure. Well, I think Prosegur is well known for the security services, maybe for the alarm services, for the cash management. So those big armor truck, yellow armor truck that you can see at the streets. It's less known for the external services for the security, for the insurance companies and bank companies, and for cybersecurity services. So in those, all those areas, we are looking for solutions, new technologies that can really be distinctive and competitive, and that can be ambitious enough to work with us in over 26 countries.
Cybersecurity, a very, very hot topic right now, so glad that your program exists. Could you tell us a bit about the program that you guys have and what the opportunities are in the sector?
Well, I have to say that Carolina has done the work for me, because we as a corporate have a very similar process of selecting, scouting, and implementing those solutions in our business. At the end of the day, we want to integrate sustainability and innovation in the way we do things. We want to do business, but in an innovative way that improve the countries where we operate. And as she said, we also launched this. Our program is called Synergies. It's launched in our home markets, and similar. We look for challenges inside the business. We launch it to the community, search for the best solutions that we think that can solve the problem we have raised, do this due diligence on viability and suitability, and start conversations with the startups and the small companies, and also big companies, but usually the most innovative ideas come from the startup communities. And we see we launch pilots with them, and if the pilot fulfills the objective if it tries to solve the problem that we have raised, we later escalate that in a more day-to-day operations. It's a very similar to the Carolina Prosegur process, so I see that we have a lot of things in common.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Good program.
Yeah,
It's a remedy can be used in a lot of different sectors, right?
Yeah, because Sasir is a big construction services company, and we operate in the roads sector, circular economy, new technologies for recycling, urban services, there's hospitality and sanitary sectors. So we have a wide variety of places to look for new solutions for old problems that we have not found yet the solution to do it in the most sustainable way and change the things are done, and be also like the breakthrough company in our sector for that kind of solution.
Amazing, thank you. And last but certainly not least, the CEO of Impact Hub. That's something that's a bit more international, I think. I was just talking backstage. We have one in a very well-run Impact Hub in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Could you tell a bit more about what Impact Hub is?
Well, as you know, Impact Hub is an international network of communities of entrepreneurs. We are present in more than 100 cities all around the world. And we have been working or catalyzing the entrepreneurship action for more than 15 years. In Madrid, we have been for 10 years. And what we do is we create and develop programs of supporting entrepreneurs, also incubation, and recently we launched an acceleration program in circular economy. But despite of that, what we create around the Impact Hub is a group of services to support and access to a community where you can share not only a space but also knowledge and connectivity, and I think that this is one of our most important values, the connectivity and the community. As you probably know, from the very beginning, we were focused in impact and sustainable entrepreneurship, and we are really very happy that in the last few years, you know, the agenda of the institutions, governments, international actors are clearly shift to this view, to this new way of doing business. And I think that there is going to be a big opportunity on that new areas, farther than the digital and technological ecosystem, that it is very important. What we think is that we need to a point this social inclusion, environmental problems, and this is going to grow rapidly in the coming years. So we have been working in different cities, in Amsterdam, in Zurich, in Vienna, in London, in Madrid, and this week is the global gathering of the whole network in Switzerland, and they are working in the new strategy for the couple of years coming, and clearly the focus is changing the way that we do business to create new paradigms or new models of value proposal for companies and institutions for the next couple of years.
That's incredible. So it's not as much as the opportunities in your sector, because they've always been there, but it's now the opportunity that lays in the collaboration of all the different people involved, whether that's government, private companies, entrepreneurs, etc.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the keys. I mean, the problem that we are facing are very complex, and no one is going to solve it, but the society working together. So one of our values or proposals, and this is something that we stand clearly, is to create a space of trust to generate clear collaboration, because many times we talk about collaboration and it is very difficult because the ego person and ego companies makes difficult to create real action. And I think that we like very much the idea of the decade of action of the NU, of the UN, and we are much focused on that, create spaces of collaboration among actors to push this SWIFT.
I mean, that's a very important thing, not focus on the egos, but on the collaboration. One of the things that I want to talk to you about, because you're all based in Madrid, I think, so I'm not from Madrid, I don't know if you can see, but I think it's incredible what Spain, but specifically the community of Madrid has done over the past year, like how they've made a name for itself. Like look at South Summit, it's one of the biggest startup-focused conferences in Southern Europe right now. What do you think is needed to take Madrid even further in this journey? Like what would it take to take Madrid to the next level in relationship to entrepreneurship?
Well, I want to start. Yeah. Well, as Antonio was saying, that I think we are facing like very difficult and complex problems, and traditional ways have shown that no, it's not working, and we need to work in innovative and different ways of solving. And we see there's a lot of innovation that's not reaching public administrations. So for Madrid, we would say, I would say we have to work in 2 dimensions. First of all, for me, institutions and at all levels should know more about entrepreneurs, startups, and all the projects that are in the region. No? They need to know more about them. And that's because when you nowadays, the public demand is based on what public administrations know. So if they don't know an innovative solution, they are not going to be able to include it in tendering process, etc. So first, they need to know more about entrepreneurs. And second of all, we would say that they need to understand their role as buyers of innovation, and not only as facilitators. Because we've seen a lot of institutions being facilitating spaces as these, and that's very important. But it's also very important that they start buying innovation, and that would be a great push to the economic growth of the region. And yeah.
I want to add to that, completely agree, but I would also add the legislation, because sometimes you solve a problem, but the the regulation and the laws are not prepared for that solution. So, of course, knowing that, incentivizing that, but also by knowing, the legal hurdles that are there that need to be changed to have that more implemented and more integrated in the solutions they can offer.
Yeah, and we are seeing that it's very frustrating as a public worker, like all the things you have to do to buy innovation. But if you, as we are seeing during the pilots, we inform like that to, I mean, all this, the financial statement of the startup, blah, blah, blah. If you include that, all those criteria in the tendering processes, then it would happen. So yeah, it's super important.
Sorry. You go. Adding to that of the legislation, I think that it will be interesting to have more sandbox for testing technology. We have recently learned the creation of a sandbox of mobility here in Villaverde, and that will enable us to learn a lot about how this technology is interacting with the citizens, but we need to expand this model to other technologies such as artificial vision, robotics, and to learn not only how the technology is working and performing in a real environment, but also how the citizens and the users are accepting this technology in their current life.
I mean, I think you are making some great points, right? The public center of, not just the public center, but a sector, but everybody needs to understand what entrepreneurship actually is and how to work with entrepreneurs. Legislation is a very big one, where, okay, if we have an opportunity or the solution, please let us do so. And seeing like who the clients are, because a lot of people are like, oh, hey, it's nice that you have a solution. Why don't you try it out for free? No, like entrepreneurs in the end, like there needs to be a business model for it to be sustainable. Anything else what you would?
Well, I subscribe all the things that you have said, and I will add, it's my role as Impact Hub, to call the attention to two different things. One is to design and finance collaboration. I mean, I think that the role of the public sector as catalyzer is very important. But I think that the processes of creating trust and process of collaboration are not automatic, and they have to be designed, financed, and managed. You know, so I think this is one thing. And the other thing is that I think that Madrid has made a strong bet for technological and scientific innovation, and I think this is very important. It is crucial, but again, with the changes that we are facing, I think it is very important not to forget social and environmental innovation.
Yes.
Because I think we are going to need that part in order to equilibrate, you know, the challenges that we have as society in front.
I think that last point is a good point to end. Let's keep the world in the back of our mind with anything that we try to do. I want to thank Antonio, Ana, Carolina, and Rocio very much for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to help improve the ecosystem in Madrid, please come talk to us. We're walking around the entire day, and I hope you enjoy the rest of South Summit. Thank you.
Thank you very much.